Hey, I'm Bryce from Detroit, single father of two and person in long-term recovery. And I just want to talk a little bit about recovery. Where I'm from, we don't necessarily have like things that teach us process or emotional agility. For me, like the big ways that I used to deal with anything that was like fear or anxiety or guilt or shame or like the things that I've been through was to numb it up. And the ways that I numbed it up was through drugs and alcohol. Like that's just what we did. That was just a process. There was never any coping or never any integration or never any working through it. So, that was the ways that I learned to deal with it. And what eventually ended up happening was like it became unsustainable. Like I couldn't maintain it, and I got to a point where I felt like I was broken down, where I could not continue anymore. I had reached a state of hopelessness that had led me to kind of seek for something more. And when I reached out, the way the world works, the way the universe works, the higher power, whatever you want to call it, like I was pointed in the direction of, some certain things to show me a little bit about recovery. And now I know about peer recovery mentors or coaches or, different nonprofits that come in to help people in recovery and show them, where community is and 12 step and all the different type of programs that exist. But I didn't have any reference point for any of that. So, I came into recovery as a baby, just somebody looking for something to help him live a better, more fulfilled life. But I didn't even have that language. I just knew that I didn't want what it was that I had, which was, living in a state of fear, a state of anxiety, a state of not being able to be there for the people who really needed me. So like what was important to me was to find a process, find a way to be able to do these things. And I was pointed to 12 step. I went to a 12 step program the day I got out of rehab, and we sat, and that was the first time that I sat in a room full of people who I knew like hadn't been drinking and hadn't been, using drugs, but they were all laughing, like guttural laughs. And it's like, man, I want some of that. So, they took me in, and, they showed me the different steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I tapped in and kind of, went about repairing the damages that I had left behind in my active addiction. And in doing that, in beginning a process of internal understanding, like there were some things within me that were causing me to drink and use that I had never looked at before. I didn't have any emotional agility. I get mad and act upon what it is that I felt. I get sad and loathe and seethe with resentment, and all those things only affected me. Like it never affected anything outside of me. There would be so many external circumstances that would affect me in such a way that I would just have to break and destroy everything around me. And I felt like, like I didn't have inside of me the ability or the capacity to calm that storm. And so for me, it was 12 step that had built my foundation. But in working a 12 step program, I had learned how to be there for myself. I had learned how to tap into community that was there for me, and they showed me the way to be able to kind of like build a new life upon a solid foundation. And now life hasn't gotten any easier. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say that it's gotten harder. But the beautiful thing is I've gotten stronger, because I'm not throwing away yesterday. I'm not throwing away today. Every day counts. Every minute counts. And that's the beauty of like being a person in recovery. Like as my recovery continues to evolve, and certain things that I thought aren't anymore, and things are shaping and molding, like that's what happens in life. Like life does this. But at the end of the day though, like I am continuously growing and able to allow for that understanding to come in. I'm a growing being, and I'm here and I'm present and I'm in it. And that's something that I couldn't ask. $1 million couldn't buy that. So I'm very grateful to be a person in recovery. I'm very grateful to have a platform to be able to share with you what that journey looks like. I'm very grateful to be who it is that I am, looking how it is that I look, the age that I am, from where I'm from, to show you that like recovery is possible for anybody. Like it's just, are we willing to get outside of ourselves?